What's up, guys? It's your boy Kazaris back with another fun little deck profile, and today we have some cancer. Yes, we have an FTK, Fire Princess FTK to be specific. It is a little bit better than Bamboo Sprite FTK in this day and age, simply because it only plays 4 bricks. You have the Fire Princess, the Spell Absorption, and the 2 Goblin Thief, whereas now the Bamboo FTK needs the 1 Woodland Sprite, the 3 Black Pendant, and then the 1 Swords at Dawn, which will re-equip Black Pendant from Grave to deal that last bit of 1000 damage. So one less brick in this deck, and you can play Pot of Greed as well, and you get 2 as opposed to the 1 in Golden Bamboo Sword in a Bamboo Sprite FTK. Now this deck, I was trying it before we got the brand new Desperado. I'll explain that in a second. I was trying it before, and you only had this engine right here. You had these 15, then you had to play a couple more bricks, like I was playing a 3rd Goblin Thief, but I only had 8 draw cards between the 3 Into the Void, 3 cards on the sky, and the 3 Cup of Ace. So this was really reliant on seeing Cup of Ace early to be able to pull it off, so it was pretty inconsistent. But now with this little engine here, this draw engine, we get 11 draw cards, and with 11 draw cards, your chance of opening with at least 1 in a 4-card hand and a 20-card deck is 99%. So we have a 1% chance, or sorry, I think it's like 90. The math, it's not exactly opposite. So it's like we have a 1% chance of not seeing one. So, but I don't think it's exactly 99% chance to see one. I think it's like 96 or 7%. But regardless, it's just nitpicking. It's still extremely high, very low chance to not see at least one of these draw cards in your opening hand. This Cup of Ace is still good to see early, and some other problems with this deck. Fire Princess can't be at the bottom of your deck. Because you're only playing the 2 Goblin Thief. So Fire Princess with Spell Absorption on the field will deal 1500 damage to your opponent with each Goblin Thief, because Goblin Thief will deal 500 itself, and then you'll gain 500 from Goblin Thief and 500 from Spell Absorption, so then Fire Princess will deal 1000. But we're only playing 2, so that's only 3000, so I'm relying on being able to resolve 2 more draw cards to deal that final 1000. I could play the 3rd Goblin Thief, but then I would be playing 5 bricks, and it would be slightly less consistent. So I added a little bit of consistency and took away the tiniest bit of chance to not FTK all the time. But the deck is still very consistent. So the brand new Desperado Barrel Dragon here, its first effects are very good: destroys free special summon from hand, and a quick effect Regeki during each battle phase. However, its last effect says, if this card is sent to the graveyard from anywhere, you can add 1 level 7 or lower monster that has a coin tossing effect from your deck to your hand. So he has a coin tossing effect in and of himself. So that's 1. So the Master of Destiny skill here needs at least 5 differently named coin tossing cards in your deck in order to give you a guaranteed heads for the first 3 heads that you resolve. So the 1 Desperado here fulfills the skill requirement and also allows you to search your 3 Arcana Forces here, which are fairies to be used with your cards from the Sky Draw engine. So that's very consistent. So you want to play 3 separate ones, so that you have 4 total here, 4 total coin tossing effect cards in the deck, as well as the Cup of Ace. So the Cup of Ace being the 5th coin tossing card will guarantee you drawing 2 cards. It will be a guaranteed Pot of Greed. So essentially this deck is playing Pot of Greed, and 3 Upstart Goblin that don't increase your opponent's life points by 1000, and that is crucial for this deck. So you're pretty much playing a 17 card deck with 2 Pot of Greed. It's a little dumb. And then I have the 1 Brow here, simply because I had 2 Desperado at first, but if you draw your fairies before your Desperados, these won't give you advantage, because you're going to be losing. You always lose 1 card when you resolve Dark World Dealings, but the Desperado would search you a fairy, so you'll be going even. However, if you draw your fairies before Desperado, then this is dead. So by cutting it down to 1, you have a better chance of seeing it before all of your other 3 fairies. But at 2, you have a higher chance of only being able to resolve 1. So I switched one of those out for a Brow, which is pretty much just another draw when you discard it with Dark World Dealings. And then you won't be able to get all of your Dark World Dealings to go even with. One of them is going to be a -1. But ideally you want to save that towards the end for when you already have Fire Princess, and you just need to deal that last bit of burn damage. So Into the Void, draw a card, plain and simple. However, you need to have 3 or more cards in your hand. So if you draw the Spell Absorption early, as well as the Fire Princess, and then activate them both, you're only going to have 2 cards in your hand, so you won't be able to resolve Into the Void. So just heads up about that. And then the 3 cards from the sky, like I was saying, it's literally a Lure of Darkness in the deck. You banish a Light Fairy, type monster to draw 2. However, you can't special summon, and you can't conduct your battle phase that turn. So when you're playing an engine like this with cards from the sky, your FTK win condition has to be normal summon specific, because you cannot special summon anything. So Fire Princess fits that role, and Bamboo also fits that role, but this deck plays one less brick and you get one more Pot of Greed. So this is more consistent than Bamboo in this day and age, but nowhere near as consistent as old Bamboo. So I don't think this is a problem. I think it's still a little bit cheesy. It's not too consistent. Going first, you almost always pull it off, unless you have that small chance, and either A, brick with a tiny chance, or B, Fire Princess is within your last 2 cards, and you can't resolve 2 draw cards with that last 3,000 burn. So that's the only way to lose this deck when you go first. Going second, as you'll see, I can win going second sometimes, but like cards like Shien to negate, Dual Wield to bounce, Cyclone to hit the spell absorption, Treacherous, all of those cards hurt, Econ take, so second is usually a loss. But let's get into the games. I'm going to shut up and just sit back and enjoy the burn. Alright, so we're up against a Jack Atlas, and we're going first. That is ideal. I'm going to try and show some games going both first and second to see what happens. So, right off the bat, we have some draw power. We want to see Cup of Ace fairly early too. That's always a good thing. So, cards in the sky. Going to have our Brow. Dark World Dealings is a little bit risky because your opponent can gift stuff into the grave. There's not a ton of things that can interact with you on your opponent's turn after they discard them to the graveyard, so it's not too bad, but like it will fix your opponent's hand. So it will almost always guarantee that they'll be able to kill you once you resolve all of them. So there's a Cup of Ace. A little bit lucky with that top deck there. And then another Cup of Ace. So ideally we see the Fire Princess and a Spell Absorption coming up soon. So now there's no reason to not just play Spell Absorption, because I want to gain life points while I draw. So this, unfortunately, this is only 3,500 burn damage, unless we draw another Dark World Dealings off of this Dark World Dealings. So let's see. There's one. Yeah, so we can draw another Dark World Dealings off of this Dark World Dealings and have game. But we didn't. So that's fine. If he uses any single spell card, he will lose. So we at least restrict him from doing that. So that's 3,500. We didn't quite get there. It's unfortunate we didn't see the Fire Princess. If we saw the Fire Princess a turn earlier, I think we would have gotten it. And we're not going to be able to. We also saw Desperado a little bit too late, because we weren't able to get any searches with it off of, because we drew all of our fairies before we drew the Desperado. So that's also another unfortunate thing. So the draws in this deck have to be not extremely specific, but you do have to see some things first. And he just killed himself there. So, well, that was fun. Funny little first duel. Let's do another. Alright, so we drew the Spell Absorption. Now normally I'd hold it in this situation because Into the Void needs you to have 3 or more cards in your hand in order to use it, but that includes itself. So I want to search first with Desperado before I use Cup of Ace, so that way I'm not drawing all fairies. See there, there would have been one fairy that I'm drawing already off of Cup of Ace, and that's not very good. But yeah, in hindsight, I don't think this deck is as nearly as dangerous and prevalent as Bamboo FTK, yeah, Woodland Sprite FTK, because there are much more cards to interrupt the normal summon this turn. So going second is a nightmare, because I don't think we had Canadia when Woodland Sprite was out. Yeah, a bit with Bamboos. So it's more inconsistent. So here we need to draw something. So that's good. So this is a draw 2 because of Brow. Okay, well that's rough. We need cards from the sky. We have 3 cards from the skies to draw. So come on, baby. Cards from the sky. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. It's bit of a gambling deck. You're playing on luck, but it's pretty. You're playing 11 draw cards, so it's pretty consistent. So it's Triamids. Oh, cards in the sky. There we go. Alright, and this should be game from here because we have 2 more cards in the sky to draw. There's another Into the Void. I'm going to hold the Into the Void though because it's just a free draw 1. Draw 1. I need to see the Princess here soon. Princess can't be the last card. Okay. I still think we lose, actually. Princess was too low. That's 15. Yeah, this last one is a draw card, and we're not going to be able to draw when there are no cards left in our deck. But he's also playing Triamids, so he can't activate any spell cards. So let's see if he's dumb or not. Yeah. So it's against a Triamid deck. He can't play anything. He literally can't use his deck properly. But if he's smart, he'll just attack and beat us down. Or he might just pass. Actually, he can just pass. So yeah, I'm just going to scoop this one up. Lost that one. Seto Kaiba. So the thing about this FTK is that it's using cards from the sky. So the FTK engine has to use a normal summon in some way. It can't rely on special summoning because cards from the sky prevents you from doing that. So the only good normal summon engines to FTK are Fire Princess and Bamboo Sprite, I believe. Yes. So, or yeah, Woodland Sprite. Yeah. So Woodland Sprite with equip cards will do the same thing as Fire Princess with Goblin Thief and Spell Absorption. However, in this build we are playing 4 bricks, whereas Bamboo FTK would have to play Woodland Sprite, 3 Black Pendants, and Swords at Dawn to re-equip one of the Black Pendants and deal that last 1,000 damage. But in this deck, we can just keep using draw spells with Spell Absorption up, and just keep going through our deck while we burn our opponent. So I don't care about Slash Dragon. I'm not going to target it at all. I don't care about Slash Dragon in the slightest. So this is just a free turn pretty much for us. I'm going to discard the Brow here, get a free draw. It's going to come down to this draw what it is because we already drew 2 of our 4 bricks in our opening hand. So that means our plays are a little bit more limited. We're a little bit more dependent on our top deck here. So we are going to draw the Fairy Monster. That's good because we have cards in the sky. Okay, we have Cup. I'm going to use Dark World Dealings to search with Desperado first. That way I'm not drawing a bunch of Fairy Monsters. Especially now that we already drew 3 bricks. But we have the Cup of Ace as our last draw card, so that is very nice to have. I'm going to add the Moon here. Alright, so now we have 1 brick in our deck, I believe, and Spell Absorption. So we have a Fairy Monster and a Spell Absorption that aren't good draws, but we have a ton of Into the Voids to use. So there's a Fairy Monster, but we drew the cards from the sky with it. Awesome. Okay, and we drew this 1 final card from the sky. So at this point, I want to see Spell Absorption and Into the Void. Awesome. Alright, so that's the FTK right there. So going second is usually bad, but he had nothing to interrupt us, so all going second did was give us an extra card, which is actually very good. Burn. Burn. So there's a going second win. That's pretty cool. Bang, bang. And just because I don't want him to have to discard and stall me, I'm just going to draw 2 and end it. There it is. Easy FTK. Alright. Sweet. Now let's do 1 more. So Crowler. He's going first. We have a very good hand. 3 draw cards and a supplemental draw card. Gear Town. So I mean, Ancient Gears probably can't do anything. They don't have a ton of interruption. If they have Canadia, then if he has a Canadia, then I'm kind of screwed a little bit. But if you just go Summon Wyvern and activate Gear Town Pass, then we can probably kill him, especially with a hand like this. So Fortress Pass. So this should be game. I'll do Dark World Dealings first. Discard the Brow. Come on, buddy. Come on. This is the only reason I hate Dark World Dealings. It takes my opponent forever to make a move. I'm going to Into the Void. Give me a fairy. Good. Banish. Desperado. Okay. So now we can use our other Dark World Dealings. Desperado will search fairy. This card is so cool. I love the fact that they can add like all the retrain cards to the game. Like all the retrain Barrel Dragon, retrain Insect Queen, retrain Dark Magician support stuff. Adding the Moon. Because if anything, Temperance is the useful one, because at the very least it's a Karibo. Banish. We haven't seen, there's a cup of ace. I'm going to play spell absorption so that I can draw off, or at least gain 500. Every turn. Draw 2. So there's the Fire Princess, and that should be game. We saw it early enough, it wasn't the bottom 1 or 2 cards of our deck. And now we're able to keep drawing, and there goes the battle. 500, 1500, bang bang, and 1500. And now he can timer stall me because I'm going to play Dark World Dealings, and he has to discard before this resolves. So good old timer stall. But that's game. So whether or not he timer stalls me, I might just surrender to get on with it. But there's the FTK. All right, cool. And got him. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed. So after my testing, the FTK isn't incredibly. It's consistent. When I went first, I usually got it, unless Fire Princess was at the bottom. So Fire Princess was at the bottom a few times. So if it's the bottom 1 or 2 cards, you're not going to be able to resolve 2 draw cards to burn for that last 1,000. So the Goblin Thief will do 3,000, but you're only going to have 1 card left in your deck, or no cards. So either A, you're only going to be able to resolve 1 draw card, or you're not going to be able to resolve any. So so you want to see Fire Princess towards like the 4th, 5th, or 6th card from the bottom, and then you can just keep drawing and burning as you saw in that last duel. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I know FTK is a little bit scummy, but they're fun to play, and when they're not terribly pervasive and consistent as this, then you don't have much to worry about. Just kind of a showcase of some fun wins, fun cheesy wins. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.